everyone, and welcome back to my studio. So today marks my first full month as a full-time artist. Back in July I swapped the marketing boardroom for oil paints and palette knives, and let's just say it's been a bit of a whirlwind. So this is my first check-in video since I left my job. It's technically my second month as a full-time artist, but what I'm going to be doing is a recap of how it's gone so far. So some of the wins, the challenges, the internal struggles, some of my growth stats and performance metrics, and my goals for next month, so what I'm looking to achieve. So I'm seeing this as a bit of a journal and a bit of a diary for me, but hopefully it will be helpful for any other creatives or artists that are forging a similar path, and for those that really want to have an insight into what it's like to go all in from pretty much a zero basis and build up from there. If you're new here, hi, I'm Amanda. I'm a painter based in Manchester and I mostly work in oil paints. So my work's rooted in scenes from everyday life, so bars, cafes, landscape, still life, sometimes with people, but always with a story. I live in Altrincham with my husband and my cute little house bunny, Pickles. I studied at Central St Martin's and spent over a decade in marketing, most recently as head of marketing at a global creative agency. But earlier this year, I took the leap and left my 9-to-5 and decided to try and make it as a full-time artist. So looking back over the last 4 to 6 weeks, I really feel like I hit the ground running. There were a lot of projects and deadlines that were happening, which made me feel like I had a plan and there was lots going on, which is great. So just to recap some of the wins, I had my first exhibition. It was a group exhibition and a piece was accepted as part of an open call with the Waterside Art Centre in Sale, which is amazing. I sold one of my bigger paintings, Blanche Flower Cafe, which was bought by the owners of the cafe. They saw it on Instagram and decided to buy it, and it's now hanging back at their cafe in Sale, which is really, really nice circular thing. So it's great to be back at the place that inspired it. I took part in my first art market, and actually since then I've had 2 markets, and that's been really, really good for getting in front of people, getting out of the studio, out of isolation and meeting people face to face, getting feedback on work, trialing stuff, seeing what works, trying new layouts. And yeah, so 1 month all the still life disco ball prints would sell out, the next month Frida Kahlo, and then recently all my landscapes have done really well. So it's been interesting to see what resonates, so that's been good. And then my last but big success in the last 4 to 6 weeks was being selected as a contestant for Landscape Artists of the Year, Series 11, which if you have been watching my videos, you're probably bored of me saying, but it was a really sort of big moment for me. Getting that phone call was amazing, and it still feels surreal that that's happened. So I was filmed, it airs in January 2026, on Sky Arts, Now TV, Freeview. So it'll be a really big thing when that goes out. So that was probably the biggest win of that first month. But it wasn't sort of all smooth sailing. So I really struggled with that transition from kind of leaving a job that I did actually love, people I loved, and it was quite full on, to then going, right, okay, I have to set my own structure, work for myself. So that was hard to get used to. I actually really pushed myself quite hard to begin with. So I found myself putting in self-imposed targets. So I have a number of paintings and a revenue figure in my mind that I want to hit every month. And so I was really pushing myself to make as much work as possible, with the view that if I make more work, I'll have more to sell, and you know, that's the way that I'll sort of make a good living. But ironically, I think that might have been part of the problem, because whilst I created sort of 7 new pieces, none of them sold. Actually, one of them has sold recently, but just I think I wanted that immediate gratification of put it out there in the world and then someone's going to buy it. But of course, that's just not the nature of of buying expensive pieces of art online. That just doesn't really happen, but I think there's that pressure that I was putting on myself. But the good news was older work has sold, so I just have to have faith that someone will find the newer pieces down the line, and that's fine. But there's still that internal challenge where you're like having self-doubt and thinking, oh God, is that not good? Nobody wants it, or that didn't get very many likes on Instagram. And so it's really, really hard not to make the metrics on social media or revenue impact your work and make you doubt yourself. It's easier said than done, but that is definitely what's been going on in my mind on a weekly basis, I would say. I came out of that. I then went and did some landscape paintings. I did some still life and pop art pieces. I made about 7 pieces in total in those sort of 4 or 5 weeks, which is a lot for me. And looking back now, or a few weeks ago, I looked back at what I was doing and it really feels quite disconnected. And for me, I think what I really need is to have some clarity and consistency. So one good thing that happened was that I did a series of graphic kind of pop arty still lifes, and they went down well, particularly as prints. So they're behind me now. So a cappuccino, lemon and a donut piece. And I think just having that, I'm going to do X amount of paintings on this, worked as a way of having a bit of structure. So my focus for next month, which is now this month, is to go big. And that was one of the things in my business plan, was to really elevate my work, push myself, go big. So I'm going to be doing 2 paintings this month, the size of the piece behind me, which I've just started, which is the first one, and that is 1.25 meters high by 1 meter wide. So not only that, I want to be a bit more realistic in my goal setting and focus more on quality over quantity. So again, like I say, I'm going to create 2, maybe 3 paintings max this month. And in some way, the brief for myself is to in some way combine landscape, still life and objects in one piece. And I want to kind of make it mine in some way. So I'll be recapping how that's gone and walking you through those pieces in the next video. I just feel like the work before was a little bit shallow, a little bit like just about production, getting work done, getting it out there and trying to sell it. I wanted to feel a bit more honest, a bit more meaningful, a bit more deep, and ultimately a little bit more me. So financially, I did stay on track last month. Thanks to sort of freelance work, I did sell a few original paintings. As I mentioned, I had Ultraman Market, so I had about 7-8 sales that day. And then I sold an original the day after from someone who saw me at the show. So I didn't need to dip into any of my savings quite yet, which is great. In August, I'm well and truly prepared that I am going to need to dip into my savings for the first time to cover all my expenses, and that is just something that I'm willing to do to put myself and my art first, and then hopefully there'll be a dip, but then there should be some payback down the line. Okay, so let's talk numbers. So I really wanted to be transparent in this video series about kind of what organic growth looks like in kind of real time and as somebody that is working from the ground up. So I do see a lot of YouTubers out there that are flaunting really, really huge numbers, 6-figure salaries in their first year. And so I wanted to share kind of what the numbers look like when you're just starting out. I'm not going to share how much revenue I'm making, but I am going to share the stats in terms of my social media platforms and how I'm monitoring kind of the ups and the downs as I go. And just so you can see how you're performing as well against these numbers too. So one thing I did want to say is that these numbers before I start are going to be slightly inflated because it is over a 6-week period. So going forward, I'm going to do my recap at the end of the month for a 4-week month-on-month period. So looking at Instagram activity from mid-June to the end of July, my Instagram really spiked. So I had over 104,379 views compared to around 30,000, which would typically be a really, really strong month for me. And that would be from doing like 3 posts a week, daily stories, some lives. And no surprise really, this was largely down to the Landscape Artist of the Year announcement. So in total, I reached over 30,000 accounts, and my top performing content was, again, like I say, no surprises, the Landscape Artist of the Year announcement reel. That alone had 36,000 views. The behind the scenes footage had 13,000 views. And then, as you'll see from the screenshots, there was a big drop down on my third most popular and top performing piece of content, which was around 3,300 views of my piece, yakitori and sushi, which was more in line with my usual numbers. So whilst I know I just mentioned about those artists flaunting really big numbers, so these are really big numbers for me, but that last piece of content there, I typically want to see and be happy to see around 3,000 views on a reel would be good for me. It reached a whole new audience that I wouldn't have had access to previously. So that was the main reason for the spike. And even those who don't follow the Artist of the Year account will have seen it on their feed if they're, say, looking at the Landscape Artist of the Year hashtag. So that led to really, really great exposure. I think I might have got around 100 new followers from that post alone. And it should mean that there will be a similar spike around the time that the show airs next year. So that's really encouraging to see just from one reel alone. Whilst my views were up, I only had 54 click-throughs to my website. So that really goes to show that Instagram is all about kind of building your brand, your engagement, getting people to know who you are as an artist, but then also seeing your work. But that doesn't always equate to kind of traffic or sales, and kind of that's fine, and that's what it's there for, and you kind of can't live without it these days. And I think that's fine. So for me, you know, I accept that, and I think I really enjoy sharing my work on Instagram, and I think it's a great community, particularly when you're working from home alone most of the time. And again, it's just about being front of mind when people are in a position to want to buy a print or an original for their home, then hopefully they'll think of you. So in terms of my website traffic also saw a big jump. It was up 483% year on year, with just over 1,200 page views and 4 direct orders through my website. So just to clarify, I had sales come through many other channels. I don't just have one revenue stream. And as I mentioned, you know, I had 10 or more sales through markets. I also have a lovely print partner, Jazz. So Jazz, if you're watching, hi. And she's on the 1 up to 25 website. So she lists artists with limited edition print runs. So across the board, it was a pretty solid start to my first sort of 6 weeks or so as an artist. So as I mentioned, this combined with my freelance work meant that I didn't need to dip into my savings and covered all my basic costs and living expenses and art expenses throughout that time. And as I mentioned, August most definitely will be the other way, I'm sure. But as I say, I'm trying to ride the waves as they come and not worry too much at the moment about that. Okay, so on to LinkedIn. So I know that LinkedIn is not kind of the obvious place to put art out there into the world, but because my background is in marketing, I do have a network on there, and I wanted to keep that audience very much in the loop with my artwork, what I'm doing. And I posted 5 times over that period, and that's way more than I realised I had done actually looking back. So I had 2 standout posts. I had Landscape Artist of the Year, which had over 2,000 impressions. It reached almost 1,000 members. I had 114 reactions, 32 comments, and 2 reposts of that news. And then my Making It as an Artist YouTube video, which was my introduction to this series, that went out, got over 1,255 impressions, 750 members reached and 33 reactions, mostly from my ex-colleagues and people I know, and some people that I didn't know. So it's not a channel that I'll be updating regularly, but it's just a nice way to bring people along on the journey who have maybe followed my creative career back, from the agency days. And I think for anyone out there that is leaving a job, I wouldn't rule out LinkedIn as a platform to put yourself out there on either. Okay, so YouTube, this channel, hello. Right, so YouTube, this is a brand new territory for me, and I'm definitely figuring it all out as I go. So in the last 6 weeks, I have uploaded 4 videos, 5 shorts, so that's way more than I expected to manage. And the channel pulled in over 10,000 views, 91 watch hours, and I got 41 new subscribers. So hello, hi new subscribers, thank you. And honestly, it means the world to me that you're following along. And I know that 41 subscribers probably doesn't seem a lot, but if I were to think of putting them in a room together, that would be one busy room. So I really do appreciate it, so thank you. And then my best performing bit of content, looking back, is hands down, it's shorts, so videos that are about a minute long. So my best performing piece was my shiny loafers piece, and it was showing the process behind making that piece called Laid Back, and that hit 1,775 views, which was really good for me. So with this channel, like I say, it's all new to me on here. So I'm just going to keep going, keep posting when I can. I'm going to try to do one long form video like this every month, and then time lapses of my bigger pieces in between, and then rehashes of my Instagram reels on shorts also, just so it saves on time and effort there, and just rehashing and reworking existing content to make the most of it and squeeze out all the reach that I can get from those. Okay, I'm definitely overrunning now. Didn't stick to my 10 to 15 minutes, did I? But last but not least, I have emailed. So I sent out 2 newsletters this month, one announcing a studio sale and the other sharing my latest YouTube video, along with a studio sale and a blog on my time at Landscape Artist of the Year. So my open rate was 45%. Click-through rate was 11%, and it led to 1 sale of an original piece, which is great. So I'm bowled over with those stats. I think a 45% open rate is pretty strong. I think that's to be expected with a consensual email list and a customer list. And it just shows that, even with a small list like mine, I only have, I think, between 50 to 100 subscribers now. But it continues to be one of the kind of most direct and personal ways to connect with people. At some stage, I do want to build out this list. I do realise that it's really important to build out your own email list, because you own the data, then it's yours. And I've not really been pushing this through socials. It's on my list, but for me now, I'm focusing on the work. But what I would say is, if anybody out there that's watching has done, a lead magnet of sorts, whether it's on Instagram stories or as a freebie in terms of content or a free print or something, if you do have any ideas, just please do drop them in the comments, because it's something that I know I need to be doing and I haven't yet. So keen to get some ideas. So if anybody out there has any, then do let me know. So for me, August is all about focusing on clarity and consistency. So I want to make fewer but bigger and better pieces, and give myself time and space to really progress my work and make work that I'm proud of and that means something. So my goals are going to be to make 2 large pieces, so between 70 to 120 centimeters wide. I want to book more in-person events, Christmas markets, maybe a pop-up event, and get some trading dates in. So that's definitely on the agenda. Commissions are a big thing. So right now I have no commissions lined up, which is really rare. So I really want to push commissions through some kind of paid advert on Instagram and do some outreach. And then the usual sort of BAU things, I want to post consistently across Instagram, so daily stories, post 3 times a week on Reels, YouTube Shorts and LinkedIn. And then I want to film 1 long form YouTube video and apply to at least 1 gallery or open call from my long list and my growing list of opportunities that I found online. Okay, so I know it's only been 6 weeks, but it already feels like a lifetime ago since I left my job, and now I'm finally getting used to working for myself. My boss is an absolute nightmare. I mean, God, working for myself, what can you say? But some days I feel like I'm thriving, loving life, it's the best decision I've ever made, and other days I feel like I've lost the plot and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trusting that by showing up, being consistent and doing the work, that hopefully I'll find my people and the right people for my work, and it will pay off eventually. So if you're on a similar path, I'd love to connect with you, so please do reach out on here or on Instagram, and I'd love to hear what you think of this video. What else would you like to know? Would you like to hear more stats, less stats, more analysis of what's working or insights? You know, if you found this video, I'd really appreciate if you could give it a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on my next update. And if you'd like to find out more about my originals or my prints that I have available on my website, then do just head over to amandamulqueeneyburbeck.com. So thanks so much for watching. If you got to this point, well done. And thank you so much for your support. And I'll see you in the next one. In my...